I know who is responsible for this. It's the poor. They've summoned these monstrosities to take Westmarch for themselves.
Oh, I can't believe it. My best hammer's gone missing. It couldn't have walked off on its own now, could it, lad?
One of the men needed a hammer. He promised to return it.
Fool boy! I'll never see it again!
I'm sorry, Hadrig.
Get out of my sight.
My mother warned me about the poor. They want my wealth, but they don't want to work for it. And now they've created an army of death creatures. Well, when I'm king, I'll just show them.
I don't feel like talking right now.
We're not going to die, are we? Tell me we're not going to die. I don't want to lose my soul!
I heard Tyrael is an angel. Why isn't he helping Malthael?
Well, who said he isn't?
We need to get out of here. Hide in the bog, anywhere. As long as it's away from the cities.
He's been agitated ever since he mentioned the woman. Who was she? Did she start the fire?
Looking for something. Something hidden.
I don't know what to do. He's getting worse. I fear he will not live much longer.
You are a quiet sort, Serena. Sneak back home and fetch some of our savings.
But the streets are crawling with those horrid creatures.
That's precisely why you must go, dearest. Nobody notices you.
And now I hear those Reapers are taking people's souls? This is madness!
Why fight so hard? Thousands are dead. What do another dozen matter?
After Corellan's death, the crown passed to Justinian I, through a somewhat convoluted interpretation of Zakharum's scripture. Thus began the Justinian dynasty. Seen as usurpers by many, the Justinians suffered nearly constant challenges to their rule. Finally, during the reign of Justinian III, a full-fledged insurrection broke out in the outlying region of Tartarus.
My library isn't far from here. I was closing everything up for the day when I heard the fighting in the streets. I barred the doors and then squeezed through the back window to escape. But I'll have to come up with something more exciting when I write my official account, won't I? You've heard the legend of the Tomb of Rakus, haven't you? Its location has never been found. Most scholars think it's underneath Westmarch, but I suspect it's somewhere outside the city. Rakus was a clever man, after all.
Zai was the greatest thief, and he wanted Lyria. He waited patiently for a night when Lyria's path hid her behind the silver moon. For when the sun set, Dirges had to leave Lyria's side, you see, for desire rules the night. He could only watch from below as she drifted across the ocean of stars. Then Zai climbed, silent as a whisper, into Lyria's palace in the heavens.
Why was he so determined? Was it love?
No, but stealing from dirges would make Zai a legend.
Those who perished without embracing Malthael are eternally damned. But I can commune with our Lord, asking him to grant them a reprieve. Only a simple payment is required.
Bless my poor husband, please!
You must save my children.
Please, my friends, one at a time. Bring your offerings to the stand, and I will grant your loved ones this blessing.
Is this truly the work of angels? I don't understand. How could they?
Some of the angels have gone mad, but I will stop them.
Good.
I have heard that the Grand Maester himself is in Westmarch. It is imperative that I find and speak to him. I will tell him of the sins his order is committing.
This man leads the Templar. Surely he is the root of the Order's evil.
No, you are wrong. My first memories of being a Templar are of him comforting me, welcoming me to the Brotherhood. I looked into his eyes. He is a good man, I tell you.
When I left my sister Lysa, I took her magic focus as a reminder. I scryed it today to see if it held any clues, and I found strong traces of the demonic magic that killed her. It reminded me of the Viserys magic from before we served the Prophet.
Those mages died long ago. If they sought revenge, they died without finding it.
When I cast the magic upon her focus, I heard her voice again, and this time, I understood. She said one word. Irena.
Can I ask you about Deckard Cain?
Oh yes. He was a wise teacher. A great friend. If he lived today, many other paths might be open.
Could one man make such a difference?
Now is not the time to speak of this. We have a city to save.
Death comes to all. Look, the sliver is changing.
Malthael is altering the Soulstone.
Exactly. He's been gathering strength from the souls of Westmarch in order to alter the stone. Yet his purpose still eludes me.
He's killing everyone. What more do you need to know?
If we are to stop him, we must know what he plans to do next.
Urzael has done this to finish collecting the souls of Westmarch.
The time for his death has come. Where is he?
All I know is that he is in a tower somewhere in the Westmarch Heights, and that he will be quite rude to you. Before you set out to kill him, you should stop by my cart. I can enchant some items for you.
If only Tyrael had destroyed the Black Soulstone.
The Black Soulstone was made by a man, unlike previous Soulstones. We had no idea what would happen if we destroyed it. It seemed a better idea to hide it away forever. We had no way of knowing that Malthael was watching us the entire time. How could we?
There was no way. But what will we do when we get it back?
I don't know. But it's better for us to have the stone than Malthael. If we make it that far, we'll worry about what to do next.
What do you know of this Urzael?
He is Malthael's lieutenant, much the same way that Iswal was mine. He does his master's bidding without question.
It is strange that Malthael did not take your spirit in the tomb of Rakis.
I may be mortal, but I am not Nephalem. I have no demon blood in me, and therefore Malthael does not see me as his enemy.
But he thinks me one? I stood with angels and fought the beasts of hell.
That is of no consequence. You are half demon to him and therefore on the wrong side of the eternal conflict.
Tyrael, you look to be in agony.
I have felt pain before, but nothing like this. It is different being mortal. The pain wears on you.
Such is the way of this world. Only in the unformed land does the pain end. Do you know why Malthael wants the Black Soulstone?
I have been thinking on that since our encounter, but every scenario I envision simply doesn't make sense, regardless of what he has become.
He would not have taken it for no reason. What do you know of Urzael?
Well, he seems to have an affinity for fire. I'd watch out for that if I were you.
I will. Do you know anything else?
Urzael was sent to find Malthael by our friend Tyrael. He blames himself for what Urzael has become. What else can I tell you? I had a vision of death blanketing our world. So I left my people, my family, to come help you.
I too left my home and my people. I know the pain of your sacrifice.
Nonsense. We veteran often receive visions telling us when it is time to find a new family. I've had many in my life. I still love and miss each and every one of them. Except for Jonah. I never really liked that one.
Malthael's influence taints man and beast alike. Even the dogs of Westmarch, once tame and gentle, have been transformed into wild, savage creatures. They hunt in packs through the streets, tearing apart their prey with ravenous hunger. I saw them rip a soldier limb from limb. When his screams stopped, they came for me. Many of the oldest noble houses in Westmarch kept massive hunting dogs on their grounds. Though docile enough in life, they've become terrors in the hands of the Reapers. Now these beasts lead the packs of smaller dogs as they chase down the citizens of Westmarch. I don't even want to record what they do to the corpses.
I learned much from that.
spirits, aid me!
So many people living close together, it is not surprising that many plagues afflicted Westmarch.
My curse upon you!
Threaten to choke this city.
These remains are ancient.
The truth burns you. You die!
This cannot be opened yet. I am unable to open this.
Your evil undoes you.
Thank you. Had I remained in that inferno any longer, I surely would have died.
Breaks my heart that we have no time to search for survivors. Perhaps after, if there is an after.
Needs more time. I cannot carry more. I am returning to town.
It is done. The bloodline of Rakis will once again sit on the throne of Westmarch.
And that would be you?
My grandmother was the daughter of Coralon, but he would not claim her because she was born of a courtesan, not a queen. With the peasants supporting me, Westmarch will become a place of freedom and equality. The idle rich will be no more. Of course, there will be some bloodshed. We must make a few examples, consolidate our power. A small price to pay.
I will not put the future of the people of Westmarch in the hands of a betrayer like you.
I have spent my whole life preparing for this day, you primitive heathen.
I have come to realize that my personal feelings are of no consequence. My people are dying, and they need their king. Our resistance starts today, and Lord Winton, of all people, has provided the means. These Reapers shall not have Westmarch. I swear my life on it.
Ahead. I have been thinking that perhaps I should change my outfit.
Oh, I am rather fond of that dress.
Not everyone has as good taste as us.
master has begun his work on the stone. Nothing that you do matters. Soon, demons spawn like you will be gone forever.
Enough. The spirits call for your death, and I will give it to them.
The demon spawn shall perish in flames.
The spirits smile upon me.
Nephalem, I will bring an end to conflict. In death there is peace.
The spirits curse you. I am returning to town.
You killed the angel who was responsible for this horror.
Yes, but a great evil remains. When I have destroyed him, you will be safe.
I believe you.
Your eyes gleam with wisdom, Miriam. You have seen much in this life.
Oh, I could tell you stories. I actually knew Hedrig when he and his soon-to-be wife traveled with the Vetchin. She was beautiful. She had mystical powers of her own. I taught her a thing or two. Eventually, they were married. It was then that I had a horrific vision of what would befall them. We were friends, but there was nothing I could do. So, I shared my wine. We laughed. We danced. I wanted them to be happy for as long as possible before. She never spoke to me about it, but I think she knew.
I wonder if we could sell wigs made from your hair.
That is enough, Harold! If we survive this nightmare, I am leaving for my parents' estate in Bramwell.
That's a grand idea, dearest. Your father has more than enough money to...
Follow me, and I will tie you naked to a tree for the crows. Maybe then you'll finally think of something other than money.
Is it true that King Justinian IV is dead? That would mean I'm sixth in line for the throne.
Now that Urzael is dead, I'm going to Bramwell to find my son.
These lands are still plagued by danger.
I don't care.
Thanks to you, I can finally bury my wife in peace.
This disaster will make for great reading someday, provided that anyone survives to chronicle it. How fortunate I am to have met the savior of Westmarch. You simply must let me ask you some questions when your work is done. Rackus conquered all of Honduras before founding Westmarch. Repelling this invasion would be child's play for him.
I bring grave news, General. The king is dead.
I'd heard rumors, but I hoped. I didn't really care for the king at first, but he turned into a good ruler. Hadn't been himself lately, though. The last of his trusted advisors died recently. Hit him hard, it did. He would have recovered eventually. Now, he'll never get the chance.
Urzael is dead. The Reapers will be easily defeated without him to lead them.
You have saved Westmarch, my friend.
But we still do not know why Malthael took the stone, and he grows stronger by the moment. Our time is running out.
That strange woman you brought here believes she can help. She insisted on speaking with you immediately. Urzael is slain. Westmarch is saved. And yet these thoughts weigh constantly upon me.
We have brought peace to Westmarch. That is a victory worthy of celebration.
Wise words, my friend. Angels are cursed with a wider perspective of events. To live in the moment is a part of mortal existence I must learn to embrace.
If Tyrael is helping Malthael, we should rush it. We can do it.
Bryson meant well. Why not let him stay?
He's a fool, and fools end up dead around here.
Ah, death. It is always close to your heart.
What are you talking about?
Your father, your wife, your apprentice. You did not want another face to add to that list.
You keep that nonsense to yourself, or I might forget how much I owe you.
I'm telling you, Lyria was so lonely, and Zai was so alive and full of life. They shared one perfect night, and after she emerged, blushing. Dirges raced to her side, but Zai was gone. The ruby around Lyria's neck was the only sign that he had ever been there.
Did Zai feel any remorse for his actions?
No, not then. He felt pride.
I heard Lysa's voice again, and I could make out more of what she was saying. She is calling out for me, but it sounds as though the voice is speaking to me from far away, from beyond our world.
The voice of her spirit?
No, I do not know how, but she is alive, and she needs me.
Chelsea, I know how to find Malthael, but you will not like what I have to tell you.
What is it?
There is only one person who knows how to find Malthael. She waits for you in the Blood Marsh, and you know her well. Adria.
Adria. She has much to answer for.
Adria is not as you remember her. She is channeling blood magic to prepare herself to retrieve the Black Soul Stone.
What exactly does that mean?
Some things cannot be explained. You must see them for yourself.
The spirits agree. You are indeed strange.
You have no sense of adventure.
Tyrael's newly established rule over Westmarch did nothing to quell the civil war, which continued until she was driven mad and eventually killed by the plague. Cornelius, grandson of Justinian III and slave to the Zakharum faith, used this opening to crush the rebels once and for all and become the new king.
I see no angels here. Why are they not helping us?
There is confusion and dissension in the high heavens. You must remember, Malthael was our leader once.
But you stand on the Angiris Council. You can call on the warriors of heaven.
Imperius commands the host, and he will not unleash them on a fellow angel, especially a former member of the Angira's Council.
I will not forget this, and the spirits will not either.
You're not going anywhere without me.
Why?
Someone has to make sure you don't kill Adria before you find out where Malthael is.
Come with me if you wish, but Adria will pay for her betrayal. Urzael and his Reapers are dead. Westmarch is safe, and its people can finally begin to rebuild. Lorath and I now go to find Adria in the Blood Marsh. She knows the way to find Malthael, and after she tells me, I will end her life.
So, it's going to be the silent treatment, is it? We hid the Black Soul Stone in the deepest part of the Nephalem ruins near here. We thought it would be safe, but Malthael found it all the same.
I consider myself an expert on all matters concerning boggits. The boggit itself is a small, odd creature given to foraging and burrowing. Under normal circumstances, it fears humans, but it can be incited to great violence when under the influence of magical objects. Rings in particular seem to excite them.
The first time I saw a witch, she burned. Father took me to the town square to see it. Look, he said, that is the face of evil. But she looked like any other woman, and burned like anything else. Then the flames engulfed her. Her eyes found mine, and she laughed.
You have survived.
This is the entrance to the tomb, but someone's collapsed it.
Adria.
It looks like we'll have to find another way into the ruins. What was that?
Something is coming.
This was just one entrance to the city. There are guide stones littered across the Blood Marsh that will lead us to the main one. The guide stones are useless to most, but will reveal the correct path to a Nephalem such as yourself.
The cursed Bogan is a ferocious, hulking beast with an exceedingly bad temper. Aided by packs of boggits, it will fight anything that crosses its path. Invariably, some of the boggits will die, but the survivors are rewarded with scraps left over from the Bogan's prey. If only my assistance would work for so little.
This time, Adria, I will not leave.
Remember to get the information we need before you...
Of course.
Well, that's not very reassuring.
My father could never understand. He was born into privilege and wealth, and he spent every moment of his life trying to protect it. I was his flesh and blood, but he cared more about the names in books and the faces of the paintings on the walls than his living daughter. Do you know what fear is? The fear of who you are. The fear of what your own blood would do if they knew what you were. No, you could never understand it. People look to you as a savior. Have you ever thought about the lives you've taken? They were fathers, lovers, daughters.
Perhaps someday soon, even Westmarch will be pulled beneath the marsh, just as Corvus before it.
A perfect strike.
They ask me what I see when I look into the fire. I see a burning man. I see a burning witch. I see terror and a hunger that will consume everything. What hope do the works of men have against such all-consuming hunger? I gave myself to the flames.
I strike at your heart.
May their corpses rot here forever.
My father burned. He screamed as the flames consumed him, and the smell was sickly sweet. He had found me. For once in his life he had noticed me, and when he saw that the flames did not touch me, he breathed one word. It was his last.
You die! My strike is true.
Witch, they called me, but I turned it against them. When their daughter had a child that needed to disappear. When there was a sickness that none of the healers could cure. Who was it they pleaded with? When they needed me, the morality they flaunted in the daylight disappeared, as it always does.
The spirits aid me.
This is one of the guide stones, but nothing happens when I approach it.
Let me try.
The first time I heard him, his voice pierced my skull. It reminded me of the cold and haughty sound of my father. But it was more. A crush of thousands of voices. When I heard him, I saw the flame, and I knew fear.
There are 4 entrances to the Nephalem city, each one etched with a sigil. Only the correct one marks the true entrance to the tomb, however. When you activate these stones, one of the wrong sigils disappears.
Then all we need to do is eliminate 2 of the remaining sigils.
Do you see that enemy over there? Let us cleanse it from this land.
I had believed my new assistant was the noisiest creature in the world, but that was before I discovered the Shrieking Terror. This bat-like monstrosity produces the most ear-splitting racket imaginable, and furthermore managed to make my assistant scream even louder. I think my headache will last for weeks now.
I need to find another guide stone to learn the correct sigil. This sigil marks the correct passage.
The Bogan trappers' snares are surprisingly effective, though I have no idea how they learned to fashion them. Most of the Bogan's feeble intelligence seems to be centered around killing and eating, and in this respect, their efforts are admirable. Perhaps I should hide one of these snares near my tent when I'm sleeping.
It was a man who came to my bed that night, but when I looked into his eyes, I saw the other, though even he did not know at the time. I did not hear the man's voice, no. I heard the other, the one that has been with me for all these years. I gave myself to him.
I strike at your heart. My strike is true.
can imagine that we have been swallowed by a giant beast.
The spirits aid me! Your death comes! I strike at your heart.
Riches await us.
A perfect strike. This cannot be opened yet. This passage does not lead to Corvus.
Searching for the maggot brood has been quite an adventure. I first observed the corpse of one near the road to Westmarch, where it raised such a stench that my new assistant vomited twice on my favorite traveling cloak. The stains came out eventually, but I was sorely vexed.
Wondered how much Adria relied on Diablo's power instead of her own. Based on her blood golems, her magic is very strong. These flesh gorges are raised from earth, stone, and demon blood, and they are driven to feast on humans so they may resemble us more closely. Let's hope they don't succeed.
I had half a mind to explore the ancient ruins outside Westmarch, and then I realized they were crawling with dreadful scarabs. Of course, these creatures do not frighten me, but they make my research much too time-consuming, and I am widely known for my efficiency. Am I not?
You're evil and...
I suppose being lost in a crumbling ruin is better than being lost in a slot.
I have uncovered and obscured an ancient tome in whose pages is recorded an impossible tale. The secret history of a race called the Nephalem, gods by another name, and their ruined civilization in the west. If this is true, how could all signs of these Nephalem be lost, but for the record of this single tome? The Nephalem were not gods, but our own ancestors, gifted with long life.
You are not the one I've been waiting for, just another of the sickly children. Do not worry, I will end your misery.
The Nephalem were not gods, but our own ancestors, gifted with long life, magic, and abilities far beyond ours. Yet they were still men. I wonder if these pages hold the key to unlock their powers once again. I will bring the light of Zakarum to the heathens. Here in the east, the power of Zakarum wanes, but in the west it will rise, stronger and greater than ever. Yet I have another purpose. The lost Nephalem city of Corvus lies in the west. I will find it.
Overburdened. This is not the right entrance.
We founded a settlement near the Western Sea. It will grow to be a great city in time. Now that my people are settled, I can begin my own search for the ruins of the Nephalem city, Corvus. The tome implied that it was near this very region.
spirits aid me.
Vile forces are closing in. Raise your weapon.
The spirits smile upon me. This is not the passage I am searching for. I am returning to town. You're dead!
The flesh shaman was created from the blood of the witch Adria. Because of that, the shaman is able to use magic as she does, channeling the power of blood and fire. Luckily, Adria only has so much blood to shed, and not for much longer.
You die!
We have begun searching the marsh for the ruins of Corvus. This stinking, festering swamp is punctuated by worn blocks of stone. Perhaps these ancient sentinels are all that remain of the proud Nephalem city. No, there is more to be found. I know it.
Your evil undoes you!
Last night, I found the ruined Nephalem city. When I stepped into the buried catacombs, I felt a stirring in my blood. And then a wondrous thing, a dim light began to glow all around me, not cast by any torch. It was as though the very stones acknowledged my presence.
My strike is true. Your death comes! I strike at your heart. perfect strike.
Be of use to us.
You die!
The spirits aid me.
Do you hear that? It sounds like a million chattering teeth.
A perfect strike. A perfect strike.
The Nephalem had such a strong connection to the lights that it granted them powers far beyond our own. But I believe that through the light they can be reborn in us. Thus I have consecrated Westmarch, a shining beacon in the west. I have taken from my sigil the Wolf of Corvus and proclaimed myself king.
Your death comes. This is also not the right way.
Look, just over there. I never imagined such a creature.
My strike is true. My strike is true. At your heart. This is not the right passage. I can't carry anymore. I strike at your heart. Said what the prophet told you about me.
Oh, I had almost forgotten about that. It is just that I am so used to it now. It seemed so strange at the beginning.
Was it about my magic?
No, not that. I really should not say. Told me in confidence.
A perfect strike. The truth burns you.
Fellow Nephalem, aid us in ridding our city of these cursed beasts.
A decade later, the power of the Nephalem still escapes me. Something long ago stole it from them and keeps it hidden, even today. I have found mention of an artifact called the Worldstone, hidden in the barbarian lands. Now that my son is born, I have rallied my banners to ride to war against them.
Adria birthed these golems from the Blood Marsh. Their bodies were formed from the water and earth of the marsh itself, while the venom of the marsh creatures gave them life. Their very skin seems to burst with the poison of this land.
A perfect strike. There is only one possibility left. Overburdened. I'm returning to town.
You die!
My strike is true.
These abominations must die! A most thrilling battle!
I did not care much for him at first, but Linden is beginning to grow on me.
I am surprised to hear that.
He pretends to be quite crass, but I think that beneath it all, he is a very nice man.
I would not tell that to Cormac.
Oh? Would you not agree?
You die!
The truth burns!
are fighting a battle that was lost before it had even begun. To follow the Black King into a war against Westmarch was folly of the highest order. Each day only brings us closer to complete and utter defeat, but our commanders refuse to surrender.
I strike at your heart. Undoes you.
It is decided. We will flee this doomed war. I had hoped to find solace in this decision, but it brings only more uncertainty. We will never see our homes again, and our names will be dishonored. What choice do we have? Certain death in the service of a madman?
The truth burns you. Your death comes.
Perhaps this age is not so different from my own. There is still pain, suffering, hatred, and death. I could sleep another 1,000 years and I would find the world much the same.
Not if we fail. Unable to open this. A perfect strike.
My curse upon you!
I can't carry anymore. This is the passage I have been searching for. I strike at your heart.
Years on, the barbarians remain unconquered, and I am a man grown old and frail. My life has seen the founding of Westmarch and the discovery of the Nephalem ruins, but still the deeper secrets elude me. I leave the task to my son, in whose blood shall carry forth the line of Nephalem kings.
My curse upon you! Your death comes!
Will happen when you die?
My spirit will pass the enduring pool, where it will join all the rest in paradise. What do you believe?
I think it will be like going to sleep once again. This time, I will not awaken.
I strike at your heart. I cannot carry more.
Never cease to impress me.
My curse upon you! Your heart. I strike at your heart. can't carry anymore. Your evil undoes you. Evil undoes you. Your death comes. Perfect strike. Your death comes. Laura, you come with me no further. When I'm done, you can join me.
You're going to kill her, aren't you?
I will do what must be done.
We are all counting on you.
Your evil undoes you. Aid me. You die!
Your death comes.
I can understand why Rakas became obsessed with the ancient Nephalem.
My strike is true.
Your death comes.
The truth burns.
Your death comes.
I strike at your heart. My strike is true. You die. A perfect strike. You die.
at your heart. Your evil undoes you. My curse upon you! You die! A perfect strike. My curse upon you! My curse upon you! You die! You never said what the prophet told you about me.
Oh, I had almost forgotten about that. It is just that I am so used to it now. It seemed so strange at the beginning.
Was it about my magic?
No, not that. But I really should not say. It was told to me in confidence, after all.
I need to go back.
Let's see where you've been hiding, Malthael.
Adria.
The angels will never suffer us to live. They cannot accept the fact that we may choose our own path. At least demons are not so rigid in their beliefs.
Angels and demons are nothing to me. I will find my own path.
Diablo sent me a vision. He had returned, and you were the one who... Diablo will return. I have done what I can to ensure it. He always finds a way. In your heart of hearts, you know this.
Before she died, Adria conjured an image of pandemonium.
She was searching for Malthael, so he must be there.
I need to go back. Malthael is in pandemonium.
No doubt he has gone to the fortress. Malthael can hold out there until the end of time. He is forcing us to come to him.
He thinks to grow more powerful than me while skulking in the shadows like a rat.
The only way to pandemonium is through the high heavens. Let us leave at once.
For whom do you search?
Oh, it's my children. They're out playing a game, but I'll find them soon enough.
I now know death better than I know the shape of my hand or my own sword. Hendel charged into battle at my side. I'd known him since I enlisted, but when I looked at him that night, I had a vision. I saw the faces of the men he had killed, and I saw that he would not live to see the morning.
According to the records, King Rakus had a strong jaw, hair as black as night, and wore gleaming armor over his muscular... Sorry, what was I talking about? Every time Westmarch is invaded, a hero appears to save it. History is much easier to write with a strong protagonist. Rakus and his sons built much of Westmarch during their time. The ruins and the marshes outside the city may be their work too. Of course, whenever I ask the Crown for gold to further my excavations, there's always a more pressing matter at hand.
I don't think he will live much longer. Whatever secret he learned will surely be lost with him.
He saw Adria.
No.
But why? Why would someone do this?
To keep her master's secrets. But Adria is dead now.
We'll never see our friends again.
True.
But we won't see that cobbler down the street again either.
Why, you're right. In fact, we're the only cobblers still alive. We'll be rich.
The eyes. Let me see what you see. Show me, please. Show me.
We can't start to rebuild until we know that the one who caused this devastation is dead.
It will not be long. I swear it.
I hope so.
So, now it's on to pandemonium. You'll see a world only a few humans have laid eyes on before.
I have glimpsed the unformed land. There is nothing greater.
Ah, the beauty of life is lost on you, isn't it? See? Aren't you happy I didn't tell you beforehand that Adria would turn into a hideous monster?
Why would that bring me happiness?
You're so much more effective when you're stewing in blind rage, thirsting for revenge. We wouldn't want you to peak too early. Petty details would have just served to distract you.
In the end, Zai trapped Dirges in the ruby Lyria had worn. Zai kept the stone around his neck as a reminder. In time, though, the burden grew too great to bear, and he cast off the stone. His divinity, everything. Where there once stood a young god, there was now just an old man.
An old man?
So the story says.
You're good at fighting, aren't you? My friend's down the hall. I have to get to him.
You're the hero from Bastion's Keep. How did you get here? You saved my life. I helped. You took my sword, didn't you?
I think we're safe now.
Does that mean you'll give me my sword back?
No. You go on ahead. We'll meet up with you later.
And we'll keep fighting, just like you.
Everyone is dead. I can't seem to remember how this happened. All I remember is a pendant. Someone here must have it. Please, help me find it. It's not on this body. No, not this one. Where is it? I must find it. A pendant! It's here! But by the light, that's me. How is that possible? I'm dead? I can't be dead! I can't!
Where you find peace in the unformed land.
not dead. You have my thanks. But a word of warning. These animals carry a plague and must be killed before it spreads. To create a potion to fight it, I cut one of them open and took its innards. They smell it on me. That's why they're attacking. Here, take this as my way of saying thanks. I must get back to my work.
Begone! I am not yet ready to entertain guests. No! It's almost finished! Now it will never... I curse you, Saul! You sold me this piece of waterlogged land to build my castle on! Well, I will have the last laugh, you dog! I will build my castle here, and it will be the grandest castle ever! Do you hear me, Saul? Ever!
Victory, my friend!
Not ready yet. I can't carry anymore.
My curse upon you! My curse upon you!
A perfect strike.